And we're back for part 2 of episode 5 of season 2, Video Games in a Nutshell. We're here with my panel, Wargame Painting Solid Smurf and Shiznath, 1. And we're on to question number 4. Overall, and not on a particular title or series, are video games getting better? How you define better is up to you, but please let people know what you mean when you're giving your answer. Smurf.
I'm going to go yes. They're becoming more interactive. They're looking visually better. And just overall, I think, yes, they are getting better compared to what they were.
Okay. Shiznath, how do you define better, and are video games getting that?
I think they are getting better. I think they're much more in-depth. For me, I'm big on graphics. So cutscenes, in-game visuals. I think that the scope and scale of those are getting better with every game. So you look at like Mass Effect 2, you look at like some of the massively multiplayer games. Excuse me. They're just continuing to grow in that respect. So for me, that's how I define it.
All right, John. How do you define better, and are video games becoming better?
Yeah, I'm a really visual guy. Like, I will not play a game. 99% of the time, I will not play a game if I look at it, I'm like, this game is hideous, you know? And I'm huge into story arcs. If the plot is dull, I won't play it. But I can't complain about any game that has come out in, like, the last 2 years, honestly with you. I've never sat down in the last 2 years and played a game where either A, the graphics weren't gorgeous, or B, the storyline wasn't compelling.
All right. And I'm actually going to say that video games are not getting better. How do I define better? Better means better gameplay, and by better gameplay, I don't mean the visuals. So for that reason alone, I can't quite find a game that is as good or as compelling as the original Super Mario Brothers. While games have become more interactive and more visually appealing, the gameplay styles tend to be better at the end of a life cycle of a particular console or PC life cycle, video card life cycle, and not because people have learned how to develop, but rather the impressiveness of graphics becomes a lesser factor and gameplay mechanics become more important. Continued debate. Any debate here?
I'd like to see diversity come back to the gaming market. I mean, I couldn't say that games haven't gotten better, because in my opinion they have, but I wanted to make this point, and I was hoping you were going to ask for this continued discussion, because you're not seeing any diversity anymore. FPS, MMO, RTS, and that's it. There is nothing else. The side-scrollers are dead, like completely. When was the last time a side-scroller came out?
I'm going to disagree with that. There's a lot of independent developers that are putting out side scrolls that are actually really engaging. I forget what the Tiny World, or what was the one recently that was like a huge hit, side scroll.
Little Big Planet. Look at that one.
Little Big Planet. Yeah, that was huge. But I don't know.
Well, I stand corrected, but still, if you go to Walmart and you look at the name brand shelves at like the Xbox thing, it is Call of Duty, Day of Defeat, God of War. All these games are they're copies of each other.
Exactly.
True.
I can't agree with you more, John. In fact, I actually had a little note here for how I was going to answer question number 4, and I forgot to actually say it. And it was that experiences are becoming too similar. You need some more diversity in gameplay style. And again, it's something. It's one of the reasons why I actually said a return to cooperative gaming in Left 4 Dead, because for me that really pulls it away from every other first-person shooter that's out there. Just having that notion. Go ahead, Smurf.
Look at Portal. It opened up a game where you don't actually kill anything, but it's ridiculously amazing. And I'm terrified to play Portal 2 because I'm afraid it's going to ruin it for me. I really am. I don't want to lose that. I remember playing through Portal. I haven't played through it again. I played through it once. That was enough. But I remember everything about that game. I mean, I remember jumping through portals just to see how far I could fling my character, across the room. But at the same time, I don't want to play Portal 2 because I don't want it to be the same game, and I don't want to be disappointed. You know, I don't want to kind of be like,
sameness is a video game evil that occurs because of the need for sales, and as Shiznap pointed out, it's your independent developers who don't have a high overhead of cost, or those people, like I said, who the big shops who late in life cycle have already figured out how to program something in a very, very rapid development cycle where you start seeing impressive innovation. But one side thing that I do have to say is that the storyline experience of BioShock, for instance, I think was really impressive. And then you look at what happened to BioShock 2, and that's how I feel about it. Shiznap, any extra points to bring up?
No, I think you guys covered it. I don't have anything else to add.
All right.
Infinite looks good.
Oh, dude,
just saying.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Question number 5. Digital distribution of software games has been a fairly substantial success. Proof of this can be seen in Valve's Steam portal. Can lessons be learned from here as far as digital distribution goes for the unplugged world, whether it be tabletop, role-playing game, board games even? Can there be lessons learned here? Who do we leave off on?
I don't know.
Shiznap, I think you're up.
Okay. Digital distribution. I think you've had discussions about this before on your show. For me, it would be distribution of rules. I think that getting those rules out in digital format, it would speed up the FAQ process, the errata process. It would decrease cost. It would encourage other people to get into the game. So I think that would probably be the biggest thing for me, is just seeing the digital versions, PDFs of the rules.
Okay, so it's definitely a yes for you, Shiznap, and it's
definitely
speed of rule development. John, your go.
I was really on the fence about this question. I want to say that they're two separate things, and they should be kept two separate things. I mean, I'm not arguing. I think you're absolutely right that it would decrease cost for us as gamers. It would increase speed for errata and FAQ, but at the same time, I like opening up a physical book. Even if there's like Xerox pages in there, you know, I like that feel, and that's what I go to play tabletops. If I wanted to bring a laptop around with me, I don't think that they should cross-mingle into distribution as far as online goes.
All right, Smurf, you're up.
I think it would be a good thing if done in moderation. I think take across the two, you know, maybe offer PDF, or you can go in and get a hardback copy. One thing that I want more than anything, I want somewhere where I can write down notes. I remember as a kid opening up the game manual to a game, and it had a note section in the back, and I could write down my favorite stuff. Why can't we do that? You know, and I think with digital distribution, I think it would allow us to be able to go in and write notes and edit things and then go back and speed up the process like everyone else has said. I mean, you probably took my answers. I know, leave me alone. So go.
But only if you go ahead and pre-purchase the Adobe Acrobat full licensing software. Could you add the notes probably? As far as digital distribution, I like John. I was on the fence. My original answer when I was thinking about this was flatly no. That there isn't any lesson that can be learned here for. Whoa, I'm all blurry. Sorry, let me re-say my answer. Okay, my original feel of this was that the answer was going to be no. That digital distribution, the whole exploding success of this is a video game only kind of thing. Even though I am a huge fan of PDF distribution, the problem is that if you do still hold on to the ability to have a printed copy as well as a PDF, then you get into a problem where rule systems are out of sync, and you're going to have, you know, arguments ensue from the game when it's being played. So, can distribution of digital media work? Yes, but you have to basically cut ties with your physical world in its totality in order for it to work in an online game situation like this. It works incredibly well with video games where everyone gets a fresh copy of the rules and everyone's playing on the same playing field, not so much when you have to interpret the rules yourself. Additional comments?
Look at what War Machine Mark II did. Before the game came out, they sent out the rules, the cards. They were like, just have at it. And they were able to fix a lot of the problems with it before the game actually launched. And I think that is pretty cool, you know? I mean,
yeah, actually,
just throwing it out there.
But again, in that scenario, you had a situation where Mark II was only in digital distribution. It was not printed yet, right? So I guess you could go in waves back and forth to get it right and then get the printed copy out and then just stick with your printed copy. But if you're gonna have people purchase something that's physical and unfortunately be stale as you continue your digital distribution, then you're going to get left with, well, my rule book says this and your rule book says that, and I don't like this because it doesn't fit with my army the way I set it up. So, that kind of thing.
Now, what would happen if a company said, like digital distribution, okay, here's everything you need for your army and the rules, blah, 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 go. Oh, but, we're going to set out an expansion for your army. If you want to, it's $5. You pay it online for a PDF. Go. They did partial distribution digitally. I mean, you had everything you needed for a winning army hardbound. But if you just wanted to try something new, I'm just throwing out ideas.
If it changes the original write-up of the models that were in the hardback, it won't work.
No, it doesn't. It just introduces new, kind of like an expansion, if you will.
Then again, you're dividing it from here's where it's hardback, here's where it's digital, and unfortunately, what you're going to find out is the ones that come out digitally are going to get improvements at a much faster clock, and eventually your hardback copy is going to be garbage. John, you got a thought?
So yeah, I gotta throw it in here. GW just released a bunch of FAQ on their website.
Mm-hmm. I
am a hardcore power gamer. I am that guy, at least between Smurf and Dore. I can't speak for you, Shiznaf, but I'm that guy. I'm the power gaming douchebag in this scenario. I go to those tournaments. I have never seen somebody crack open a rulebook and have FAQ'd papers in there. Ever. We just don't care. Okay? If GW prints it out, we will wait until 6th edition comes out. If it is not in the 5th edition rulebook, we will not play with it. And those are tournaments. These are like ball-busting tournaments. I have never seen this.
Okay, hold on. Hold on before you go anywhere, Smurf. Shiznaf's been incredibly patient over there. Shiznaf, please jump in.
You just got to jump in, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Jump in.
No. When he said, I've never seen a rule book with an FAQ in it, I'm thinking, dude, then you've never played with me. When FAQs come out, man. Yeah, exactly. It's great, man. A lot of times, GW doesn't answer questions that are important. They answer stuff that you could just read out of the rule book. But with this last run, I think they did an excellent job of clarifying a lot of really stupid things that came up, broken things in the game. And for me, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like, hey, they actually answered some questions. So, I immediately print them out. I'm in a league right now, so being up on the rules is kind of important for me. So I will bring the FAQ to the league and say, hey, guys, check this out, and see how this changes.
How many people in your league bring it? Just like a rough guess.
Right now, everybody, because we're on an active forum. So when those rule updates come out, the moderator for the league will say, hey, guys, it's your responsibility to be up on the rules. These will be enforced in the league. So if they show up and they're like, well, I wasn't aware that my transport now, everyone dies if it moves flat out and gets destroyed. It's like, well, you should have known that. So.
Okay. But in a way, Shiznaf, in a way, what you're saying, though, is that, again, it's like you have that physical and the digital distribution comes out. In your world, it has completely clicked over to be digital distribution is your sticking point. So again, it's like where there's no confusion as to what is truth, it works. But as soon as there's some kind of, it's your moderator for your league that's enforcing that. Whereas people who aren't in league play, I think the combination of those two things leads to issues that John brought up with, basically whatever's printed is the world, until unfortunately you have those guys who if there ever became a true digital distribution of codices, for instance, you would have that person who got the PDF cheaper, printed it out, and brought it bound in a 3-ring binder, and arguments would ensue with, wait a minute, I gave GW $25 for this, so this should be the real rule. Oh, I gave GW $5 for this because you're an idiot, and this is the real rule, that kind of thing. Anyways, we're going to continue moving on. We're introducing a new thing brought to you in episode 3 and continued here, definitely, with speed questions. So this is going to be quick lightning round where people just give their answer. Okay, we're going to start with John. Question number 1, favorite game that has scored poorly on an online gaming review site?
Counter-Strike Source. I went on GameSpot. It was unrated. My soul got hurt.
Okay, Solid Smurf.
Red Dead Revolver, better than a 7.
That's not a poor review. Come on, Shiznap.
It is a bad review.
Give us a good one.
Man, I'll have to be honest with you. I didn't do my homework on this one. I rarely go to game review sites because, for me, I could care less what someone else has to say about a game. It's more about what I think about it. And a lot of times, I will play games and find out that, I don't know who was rating this or what their personal hang-up was on it, but it was a great game. But, okay.
All right, so for someone who actually did their homework, I'm going to say Dynasty Warriors 6 Empires for the Xbox 360, getting a grand total of under a 5 total Metascore. Anyways, question number 2, worst game you have ever played? Smurf, your go.
Folklore. Ugh.
Like the expression, Shiznapped, you're up.
It was so bad I can't remember the name of it, but it was a game that was developed by Ice-T back in the mid-90s. Horrendous game. I actually saw a copy of it in a half-price game shop the other day, and it was like $2. I told the guy I'd give him $1.50 if he let me stomp it in the parking lot, so it was not good.
Nice. John, what's the worst game you've ever played?
It's called Mighty Empires, and it was actually a Counter-Strike Source mod that got turned into a real game. I played it once, and I was about ready to hang myself. It was really bad. Really bad.
Nice. For me, and I almost didn't fairly give this one because I almost really wanted the question to be the worst game that you actually played all the way through to the ending. For me, I only played a little clip of this at a game store that I couldn't believe was running it. Was 50 Cent Bulletproof. Ow, that was a very painful game. That was a very painful game.
Learned, rappers can't make games, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Question number 3, without knowing about Game X, so some game, what is the first question you ask before you decide whether or not you're going to play and or buy it? And we left off with Solid, so Shiznap, your question, you got the first point.
Again, for me, it's going to be graphics. I want to see what the appearance is. What does it look like? If it's visually appealing, I can usually work through most of it, unless the game mechanics are just so bad. But a lot of times, that's my.
All right, war game painting. We're gonna speed up the answers.
I was really close to the graphics too, but I had to go with: is there an online fee? If I'm going to be playing a game, I don't want to pay for it after I buy it.
Solid Smurf.
What's it most like?
Okay.
What other game?
I'm going to answer with, does it have offline co-op? If it doesn't, I'm really not going to be that interested. Question number 4, video game you've spent the most time on? John.
Even though it came out really recently, StarCraft 2 has been my job for the last 2 months.
Yes, we haven't seen any videos coming from his channel for that very reason that aren't StarCraft 2 themed. Solid Smurf.
Guild Wars, easily.
All right. Shiznap 1.
I'm going to go with Smurf, Guild Wars.
All right. For me, Dynasty Warriors 4 actually unlocked every single thing to the point that I pretty much could have wrote the complete handbook on how to unlock everything in Dynasty Warriors 4. With my wife, it took well over a couple months. So, question number 5. Single thing you wish you would be adopted or adopted more by unplugged games that are present in video games. And Solid Smurf, you're up.
Leveling up or advancing a character, the more you use them.
Okay, Shiznap 1.
man. Pass.
All right, John, Wargame Painting. He gets
5
a
and
demerit.
6 answered right here. It's like the beams in Ghostbusters. You can't cross them. They should not mix. Ever. 2 separate entities.
All right. Single thing that I wish would be adopted more by Unplugged games that are present in video games. I actually want to have, again, as Smurf said, the leveling system where you're experiencing a continued growth pattern from game to game. Single thing that you wish would be adopted or adopted more by video games that is present in Unplugged games. Smurf. Because John doesn't have an opinion on this one.
Face-to-face human interaction. I mean, I want to see more co-op in the same room. I really do.
All right. Shiznap 1.
Customized. I mean, you can do anything with a tabletop model that you want. You can convert it. You can do anything, but video games are kind of static.
Man, everyone is picking my answer. I completely agree with Shiznap. The ability to have a little bit more modification and true differentiation on characters types would be awesome. I'm tired of it just being my guy's blue versus my guy's green. Question number 6. Make a prediction no matter how outlandish about the future of video games. John from Wargame Painting. You're up.
All right. My prediction would be that in the near future, I'd say the next 20, 25 years, maybe sooner, video games will be completely, absolutely just ingrained in daily life. It's going to be like Tron. It's going to be every sci-fi movie ever about video games. Like, you are in the game, you die in the game, you die in real life. You live in the game. Everybody's just going to be these giant, like, blobs that sit at home and play video games all day. It's going to be like The Sims, but it's because you can't get out of your chair.
Nice. John added Tron just so I wouldn't disagree with him. Smurf, go ahead.
My original answer was there's going to be a giant, or like our video game systems are going to go evil on us and suck us in and force us to play gladiatorial games. But, he took that answer from me.
So what's your real answer?
My next answer is going to be that this is how the world ends because robots are going to take over the world through our minds of video games, and it's going to be ridiculous.
All right, Shiznap 1, please bring some more normalcy back to the extreme prediction.
No, I got to go over the top also. I think they're going to be holodecks, man. It's going to be, you standing in your living room, duck walking around, with your, rifle up to your eye. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. My prediction is the world's supply of energy is going to decrease, and eventually people are going to have to go on to get kind of healthcare situation with their addiction to video games being somewhat decreased. And really, no. Actually, I think my prediction is more about we're going to see, unfortunately, a lot of sameness, and we're going to have to really dodge the bullet that occurred back in the early 80s with the video game crash. And it's only going to be our independent developers that are going to get us out of that slump and get us some new gameplay styles. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming to see us do a crazy episode 5 of season 2 of the RTD. Gosh, that's such a long title. But video games in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll be back with some more RTD soon. Have a good one.